I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers fade as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome back, everyone, to A Course in Miracles in Practice. This is where we take these profound workbook lessons and bring them right into our day-to-day lives.
Hello, and today we're looking at something that feels like a major turning point. Lesson 306 isn't asking for a small adjustment. It's asking for a total commitment.
It really is. It's a call to choose completely, to step out of that world of fear, the one we seem to have made, and step into a different way of seeing altogether, true vision.
The lesson itself is titled, "The Gift of Christ is All I Seek Today."
And holding that intention, that single focus, sets the stage for, honestly, a deeply rewarding day, a day of restoration.
Absolutely. It frames everything. And as always, if anything we discuss today sparks questions for you or you have your own insights you'd like to share, please do email us. The address is acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
Okay, so our plan is to read the lesson through first, just as it's written, slowly letting the words sink in. Then we'll get into how we can actually live this idea, apply it when things get, challenging.
Let's begin with the reading.
Lesson 306, The Gift of Christ is All I Seek Today. What but Christ's vision would I use today, when it can offer me a day in which I see a world so like to? Heaven that an ancient memory returns to me. Today I can forget the world I made. Today I can go past all fear and be restored to love and holiness and peace.
And so, our Father, we return to you, remembering we never went away, remembering your holy gifts to us. In gratitude and thankfulness we come, with empty hands and open hearts and minds, asking but what you give. We cannot make an offering sufficient for your Son, but in your love the gift of Christ is his. That central statement, the gift of Christ is all I seek today, it's more than just words. When you truly adopt this, you're setting a very clear, almost radical direction for your mind, for your perception throughout the day.
Internally, it becomes this quiet, firm declaration. Okay, right now, I only want to see through love. That's my only goal.
And that choice becomes the filter for everything. If you're actively choosing Christ's vision, you find you can't really hold on to the ego's judgments at the same time. They're mutually exclusive ways of seeing.
The lesson promises something incredible from this choice. Seeing a world so like to heaven that an ancient memory returns.
It's a core concept in the Course. It points to the original timeless state of being. Your true identity is the Holy Son of God, created perfect, whole, in love.
Before the whole dream of separation seemed to begin.
Right. The Course teaches that the separation itself, that initial thought of being apart from God, never actually occurred in reality. It's only a belief held in the mind.
And this ancient memory, this knowing of our inherent oneness and perfection, is precisely when the ego system works nonstop to keep hidden from us.
It uses time, space, guilt, fear, all these concepts to construct a veil, burying that memory under layers and layers of perceived past grievances and future anxieties.
That feeling we sometimes get, that sense of being lost or searching for something, or just that underlying hum of anxiety, that's because we've actively chosen to forget who we really are.
And lesson 306 is like a direct tool designed to help us lift that veil, to remove the blocks we put in place against remembering heaven, remembering our true home.
It's interesting, too, where this lesson falls in the workbook. It's right within the section titled, What is the Second Coming?
That placement is significant. The Course takes this very traditional term, second coming, and gives it a completely different meaning, doesn't it?
It does. It clarifies it's not about Jesus physically returning to earth in the future. That whole idea relies on linear time and the reality of separation, which the Course refutes.
Instead, the Course defines the second coming as an internal event. It's the awakening of the Christ mind within our own awareness. It's a collective shift, really.
The moment when the sonship, the collective mind, finally chooses to accept the atonement, the correction of perception for itself. It's seeing the truth about our brothers, our sisters, and therefore ourselves.
In this lesson 306, it's describing the practical daily application of that. It's about allowing that Christ mind, that loving perception, to guide how we see everything right now, today.
which leads perfectly into the idea of being restored to love and holiness and peace. The word restored is so important here.
It is. It highlights a fundamental teaching. You are not achieving love or peace as if they were external goals you have to earn. You're not becoming something you weren't before.
It's a restoration, a return to what you already are, to a truth about your being that has always been true and can never not be true.
If we could somehow achieve holiness or peace through our own efforts, it would imply God's creation was somehow lacking to begin with, or that we could actually create ourselves separate from Him.
The fact that it's a restoration means that love, that holiness, that peace, they were never truly gone. They were just obscured, covered over by our belief in separation, by the ego's thought system.
This completely reframes the idea of spiritual growth, doesn't it? It's not about climbing some ladder. You don't need decades of practice to deserve peace.
You just need one instant, one moment of willingness to choose differently, to remember the peace that's already inherent within you. It's simply choosing the teacher of love over the teacher of fear in this moment.
And that's where the instruction, "Today I can forget the world I made," comes into play. It's so practical.
The world we made is the one built on the ego's foundations. Time, scarcity, conflict, judgment, fear.
Choosing to forget that world means consciously withdrawing your belief from it, shifting your identification away from the ego's story about who you are and what the world is.
And aligning instead with the world. God created a world reflecting His nature, a world of mercy and care.
When you genuinely make that choice, even for a moment, something shifts inside. The outer circumstances might look the same, the bills are still there, the difficult relationship might still exist, but your inner experience transforms.
You can feel new again, cleansed almost, just by choosing to see innocence instead of guilt, choosing love instead of fear.
But the pull back into the old way of seeing is strong. And the primary tool the ego uses to pull us back is anxiety.
Anxiety is like the hallmark symptom of believing in that fearful world we made. It's the ego's constant strategy to keep us focused on the future, projecting threats.
Think about how quickly the mind can generate anxiety, even over small things. You might be planning a simple trip.
And instantly, the mind can spin out scenarios. What if the flight's delayed? What if I forget something important? What if the weather's bad?
That rising tension, that's the world we made, reasserting its grip. It operates on the core belief that your safety, your peace, depends entirely on your ability to predict and control every possible outcome.
We fall into the trap of thinking that if we just worry enough, if we plan for every contingency, we can somehow manage the future and keep ourselves safe.
And that very belief makes the gift of Christ, which is present peace, seem impossible, or at least something to be postponed.
We tell ourselves, I'll feel peaceful after this project is done, or I can relax once I know how this situation turns out. We're constantly deferring peace.
Lesson 306 invites us to see through that illusion. Peace isn't waiting for you somewhere down the road after you've solved everything. It's available right here, right now, in this exact moment, regardless of circumstances.
Accepting the gift of Christ today means consciously deciding to stop feeding that loop of anxious thoughts, to stop engaging with the what-ifs.
It's like saying, okay, I see this pattern of worry, I'm not going to fight it, but I'm also not going to invest my belief in it anymore. You gently hand the whole situation, the perceived problem and the worry about it, over to that sense of mercy and care the lesson talks about.
And that act of surrender, that willingness to let go of control, brings you immediately back to the present. Because worry, by its nature, cannot survive in the true, felt present moment. It's always about the past or the future.
This becomes particularly relevant when our sense of self, our personal identity, feels threatened or challenged. Those little narratives we hold about our worth or competence.
Even with something like this platform, sharing these ideas, the core intention is simply to share the light of the course, right? But the ego is sneaky.
It tries to co-opt everything.
It does. It can creep in and start turning even this work into some kind of measurement exercise. I might catch my mind spinning. Am I explaining this clearly enough? Is this actually helping anyone? Is the commentary good enough? Maybe someone else could do this better.
That's the ego's signature move, turning everything into a potential competition or evaluation. It insists your value isn't inherent. It's something you constantly have to prove, measure, and compare against others.
That voice of self-doubt, questioning sufficiency, it's the ego's grading system, hard at work. It whispers that my peace is conditional, dependent on getting external validation or achieving certain results.
And the antidote is in Lesson 306.
It is. When I catch that happening, I have to pause, take that breath, and remember this lesson. Affirm, no. My value, my peace, they are already established by God. They are gifts, inherent and unchanging.
And when you really stand in that knowing, what happens?
The pressure dissolves. The need to compare, the anxiety about performance, it fades away. And then from that space, I can look at myself, at this work, at you listening, with real kindness. Knowing the outcome isn't what defines the worth or the peace.
That shift is the acceptance of the gift. It's choosing the world of mercy and care, starting with yourself.
It's letting that whole mental grading system just collapse, recognizing my function is simply to express love and share truth, not to tally up the results.
I had a similar kind of moment recently, identifying with that fearful world, though it played out differently. It was in a small volunteer group I'm part of. We were working on a project, hit a technical snag. So I asked a straightforward question in our group chat, just looking for a specific piece of information to get past this block. One person replied, but instead of just answering the question, they launched into this long, very detailed explanation of the entire process from start to finish.
The kind of answer that subtly implies you shouldn't have needed to ask in the first place.
That was exactly the feeling. It felt like condescension, like an assumption that I lacked basic knowledge. And instantly, that ego trigger went off. The part of me that felt the need to defend my competence, to prove I knew what I was doing.
I need to correct this perception immediately.
The impulse, immediately. I felt that tension shoot right up. My mind literally drafted, I think, 2 different replies to subtly put the other person in their place, establish my expertise, maybe with a touch of sarcasm. I was milliseconds away from trading my inner peace for the chance to win a tiny, meaningless ego battle.
Defending that image, whatever it is, always costs you your peace. Always. Defensiveness itself is proof you believe the attack is real and has the power to harm you.
That's it. But I caught it. Just before hitting send, I recognized what was happening. Defending this image of competent me was the same as saying, the gift of Christ isn't enough for me right now. I need this external win, this validation, to feel okay.
So what did you choose?
I chose peace. I just let it go. I didn't send the defensive reply. I allowed their comment, their perception, whatever it was, to just be. I just silently affirmed within myself that my peace was intact, because my worth isn't dependent on that interaction or their opinion of my skills.
And that inner calm, the one that remains steady, even when the outer world seems challenging or critical or dismissive, that is the gift of Christ in action. It's the felt sense that you don't need to attack or defend because your safety, your reality, is inherent and untouchable.
You feel it physically too, don't you? When you make that shift away from defense.
Oh, absolutely. The tension literally leaves the body. The knot in the stomach might loosen. The jaw unclenches. That frantic internal dialogue about what you should say or do just stops.
It's a genuine moment of restoration. The world stops feeling like a battlefield or a test you have to constantly pass. It becomes instead a classroom, a place where you can practice bringing love instead of reacting with fear.
And this is why the Course emphasizes constant vigilance. Not vigilance against external threats, but vigilance for your own thoughts. Noticing, moment by moment, how many opportunities you're given to pause, to remember this lesson, and to choose again.
Each choice reinforces the pathway back to peace, allowing that restoration to happen continually. It's not a one-time fix, it's an ongoing practice of acceptance.
Which makes the practical application so key. How do we remember the gift of Christ is all I seek today, right when the tension hits, when the ego flares up?
There's a simple, structured way to approach this, especially in those tough moments. Let's break it down into maybe 4 steps.
Okay, good. Step 1.
Catch the first sign of tension. This is critical. You have to become aware at the very beginning of the disturbance.
That initial flicker, before it escalates into full-blown anger or anxiety.
Right. Pay attention to your body. Is there a sudden tightness in your chest? A shallowing of breath? A clenching anywhere? Or notice the mind's first move, that quick judgment, that defensive thought, that urge to blame.
Catching it early interrupts the ego's momentum before it builds a whole story around the feeling.
Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. That first little ripple of discomfort is your signal. It's the invitation to pause and remember the lesson. That pause is where you reclaim your power of choice.
Okay, caught the tension. What's step 2?
Name what the ego wants.
Be specific about it.
Yes, quietly, just to yourself. Articulate the ego's underlying intention in that moment. It externalizes the thought pattern. It might be something like, my mind wants to prove I'm right here, or my mind wants to worry about this outcome to feel in control, or my mind is seeking conflict to feel separate. You see it as a pattern, as the ego's agenda, rather than identifying with it as who you are. It creates a little space. You start to forget the world we made by recognizing its mechanisms. You see, it's just one possible teacher offering its input.
It brings a hidden motivation into the light. The ego often dresses up its desires as reasonable or necessary self-protection, seeking justice, being prepared. Naming the core desire, control, attack, defense, cuts through that disguise.
Okay. Step 3.
Invite a new purpose.
This is the active turning point. First, take one deliberate, slow, full breath. Let that breath be a physical anchor, marking your shift in intention.
And then?
Then consciously redirect your mind. Use a simple thought like, the gift of Christ is peace, and that is what I choose instead. Or simply hold the lesson title in mind. The gift of Christ is all I seek today.
It's not about forcing yourself to feel instant peace.
You're not trying to manufacture a feeling. You are simply stating your preference, declaring which teacher you want to listen to right now. You're turning your willingness towards that world of mercy and care the lesson speaks of, and away from the ego's world of fear and control.
That conscious turning, that redirection of intention, is the practice of Lesson 306 in action. You're accepting the gift by making mental space for it.
Exactly. And finally, step 4, wait for the shift.
Just wait.
Yes. Having paused, named the ego's game, and invited a new purpose, you just wait. You've created a space. Trust that the peace, the Christ mind, is already there. You're just waiting for your awareness of it to return now that the interference is lessened.
What should you look for?
Look for small signs. They might be subtle at first, maybe a slight softening in your body, maybe the mental arguments just stop. The frantic planning might ease up. That lessening of the need to control or fix or fight, that's the evidence. That's the gift being received.
It confirms the shift has happened, even if it's just a slight release for now.
And it reinforces the central truth. Peace isn't something you achieve through struggle. It's your natural state, always present, just waiting to be remembered, waiting to be unveiled when you choose to stop blocking it.
So every time you catch yourself and choose not to defend, not to attack, not to spiral into worry, you are actively accepting the gift of Christ in that moment.
That's the practice. It's not about being perfect or never feeling tension. It's about noticing when the ego tries to take the wheel and simply remembering, oh, right, there's another way to see this. There's another teacher available.
And when you allow that redirection, that peace, the peace of God is instantly accessible again because it never actually left.
So Lesson 306 is fundamentally about this complete restoration. It's showing us that the peace of God isn't a future goal. It's our present reality.
And we return to that reality. We access that peace through these seemingly small, consistent choices made throughout the day. Every time we let go of judgment, release control, refuse to defend an illusion, we are remembering the Christ mind within us.
The mind that sees only innocence, only love.
And the outcome, as the lesson suggests, is like being born anew into a world of mercy and care. It's not usually that the external world dramatically changes overnight.
No, the situations might remain. But your perception changes. You start looking through Christ's vision instead of the ego's judgmental eyes. And through that new lens, you rediscover the peace that was always there, just waiting.
This method of interrupting the fear or attack pattern is so crucial for making the lesson practical, for weaving it into the fabric of the day.
It needs to be something we can recall quickly.
It reminds me, of that TV show, The Dog Whisperer, with Caesar Milan.
Oh, yeah, I remember him with the dogs.
Right. And you know how when a dog is stuck in an unwanted behavior, barking, aggression, anxiety, he often uses that sharp little sound that's...
That thing you do to me when I get off track.
Maybe sometimes. Oh, man.
Yeah, that quick hiss to interrupt them.
Exactly. He calls it resetting the dog's brain, breaking the spell of whatever state they're locked into.
It's a pattern interrupt. Gets their attention off the fixation.
That's exactly how I think of step 3 in our practice. That conscious breath, that deliberate choice. The gift of Christ is what I want instead. It functions like my own inner...
Oh, yeah.
But internally, it breaks the ego's spell for just a second. It interrupts that frantic energy.
That's a great way to put it. It creates that vital pause, that space for the quieter voice, the Christ mind, the Holy Spirit to be heard again. It resets our brain, so to speak.
It breaks the spell. A very helpful tool.
It all comes back to remembering what the gift of Christ truly is. It's not something complex. It's the presence of peace right here, right now.
And that's the beautiful simplicity of this lesson. That gift isn't earned. It's not conditional. It's not waiting for you in the future. It's constantly being offered.
Always present. Our only task is to stop, pause long enough in our distractions and defenses, and simply choose to receive it.
Thank you so much for joining us today for A Course in Miracles in Practice.
Yes, thank you. And if today's exploration brought up anything for you, please reach out. Email us at acim@theworldharmonyproject.org or find us on social media at The World Harmony Project.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.